Shalom, Brother James Jr. Sister Sharon, shalom. Peace and blessings to you as well. Sister Patricia, all right. Shalom to you. Bernadette, Sister Shakita, blessings to y'all and good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sister Angela Caraway, good afternoon to you and shalom, sis. Give the other brothers and sisters a chance to chime in. Sister Angela Caraway, shalom to you. I know a lot of people on the plantation, so. Oh, is it your birthday, Sister Patricia? A happy birthday to your sister. Sister Judy, shalom. Family, did y'all see that? They little rapture. They were supposed to be raptured on September 23rd. Sister Erica, shalom. But yet we still here. No, y'all ain't going nowhere. You're going to face this judgment. And I don't know what made them think, y'all family, that they worthy to be taken anywhere. Good afternoon, Sister Susanna. Y'all ain't worthy to be taken across the street, let alone somebody be caught up in there with the Lord in some rapture. No. Mm-mm. T. Brown, shalom. And I notice whenever the heathens start going through things, they look kingdom falling like they seeing, all of a sudden the world coming to an end and all of this here. No, you got something coming from the Most High. For the way you've been dealing with his children, you got some reaping coming to you. Put that over there. Yes, sir. They said they was going to be raptured. I'm going to give it one more minute, too, family, before we get into this Proverbs chapter 6. That's right, Sister Angela, trying to avoid these judgments. You can't avoid them. You ain't going nowhere. You got to face this black God with his black people. Shalom, Sister Susanna. Shalom to you. All right. All right, family, we're going to go ahead and get into Proverbs chapter 6. I'm not going to prolong the lesson. So, here in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 1 reads, My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with the stranger. So he says, if you have been surety for your friend, mean you co-sign for them or you guaranteeing you can back them up with some type of car payment, house loan, or with that bank, he's saying that is a no. You don't do that. He says, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Why? Because you put it out there. You guaranteed that you can back them up. And thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Now, and the reason why he says you snare with the words of your mouth and are taken with the words of thy mouth. You know why, family? Because now what happens if you lose your job or if you get sick and you can't pay? But you was a surety for that friend. So you know the best thing to do is to pay cash for whatever you need and stay out of debt. Don't be a surety for no one. But we're going to go to Genesis and see if this was a practice of Israel. Let's go to Genesis chapter 43. You talking about you're a surety for somebody. You don't even know if you're going to be here tomorrow or not. So Genesis 43 and verse 8, it says, And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. My hand shall thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. Because remember when the brothers went down into Egypt, now Joseph is ruling it, but he told them, unless you bring that younger boy back with you, you can't, you ain't getting nothing. And so Judah rehearses the matter with his dad. Jacob been telling him, hey, this is what the man said. So I will be assured, I would guarantee his safety. It'll be on me if something happens to it. Which lets you know Joseph still didn't trust him, and neither did Jacob. So Joseph wanted to see with his own eyes his own brother because he remembered what they had did to him. Now let's go to Genesis 44 and verse 27. And this here is going to be Judah talking to Joseph. It says, And thy servant my father said unto us, You know that my wife bare 2 sons, and the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if you take this also from me, and mischief befall him, you shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. In verse 32, For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. And so you see, we were always saying that we guarantee that, we could fulfill that promise or help that person out in whatever need they would have. Okay, so now we're going to go back to verse 3 of Proverbs in 6. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself. When thou art come into the hand of thy friend, go humble thyself and make sure thy friend. Okay, and so family, what he's saying here, if you have done this here in verse 1 and 2, he said, go ahead and humble yourself and tell your friend, hey, I ain't got it. I can't pay it. I can't meet that need. That's why I'm not co-signing no house, no car, no none of that for nobody. Matter of fact, I ain't even doing it for my own self. If I can't get it cash, then I don't want it. And that's the way you all should be, family, because look at the economy now. And this is wisdom here that Solomon is dispensing to us. Because and along with that, you go humble yourself to your friend and tell them you ain't got it. You know why? Because a person can respect you better when you're honest with them. Instead of the payment due on the 15th, and then the 15th came and you keep making up excuses on why you don't have it. Instead of saying, hey, I don't have it. I just can't pay it. But like you said, humble yourself and do it. Verse 4, it says, give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. And you know what he's telling them, family? He's telling them this is how urgent this is. This is an urgent matter when it comes to your finances, when you taking care of yourself and staying out of debt. Don't go lay down and go to sleep. You either handle your business or your business going to handle you. And because with not taking care of your business, family, you know what comes with it? Consequences. Called what? Poverty. Verse 5, it says, deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of a hunter, and as a bird from the hand of a fowler. So he's initially saying, family, get out of this trap. We have to learn what? Financial management, family. Avoid all these debt traps, these schemes. And initially, when you sum it down, is to controlling your lust, controlling your greed. Learn to live a disciplined life and be content with what you have. We always told you at Israel's church, food, water, and shelter, your basic needs. And with us, family, what should we be doing before all those things? I want to know. What did the Lord tell us to do first? Of course, we're going to pray, Sister Susanna. That's right, Sister Shakita. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. And you know what? All those other things will be added unto you. And you know what I found out, family? When you seek in the kingdom of God, that's what you long for. That's what you hunger for. That's where your desire is. Okay. Verse 6, it said, go to the ant. When he tell you go to the ant, find your ant bed somewhere and go look. And it says, thou sluggard, and what? Consider her ways and what? Be wise. And you know why he's telling you to go look at those ants and consider her ways and be wise? Because they're always working. They are always prepping. And this is what I tell Israel all the time. Don't be proactive. Learn to be proactive instead of reactive. And he said, what? Thou sluggard. And you know what? When he said he called him a sluggard, Israel will get stuck right there at that word. You call me a sluggard. I ain't lazy. Why you calling me names? No, he's trying to impart some wisdom in you. Because looking at your condition, evidently you've been lazy in that area. And that's one thing about it, Israel. We have to learn to take the punches. I'll just put it that way. We get stuck on words, or what we would think would be name calling. It's just to jar you, to wake you up, to show you how serious this is. And especially with us here in captivity, family, ain't nobody gonna help us. Ain't nobody gonna got all that we have. Verse 7, it says, which having no guide or overseer or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in what? The harvest. See, the ants ain't got nobody over them. But one thing that they know they got to eat. So they work hard, what, all summer, because they know that winter is coming and they know that they need to what? Store up. They know that they need to save. And just think that little old ant like that. And I used to hear old folks say, child, her mind ain't big as an ant. And now I understand. They little, but they storing up. They understand they need to provide for themselves. Verse 9, it says, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When will thou arise out of thy sleep? When you gonna get up and stop being lazy and take care of your business, Israel? Oh, but I know you ain't gonna take care of your business. You just gonna keep depending on the government. You saying they're gonna give you your stamps, your welfare, and your Section 8. But guess what, thou sluggard? You thought that the government would be surety for you, but they done cut all that stuff off. And this is why he's telling you, wake up, look at what's going on around you, and deliver yourself from that mindset of dependency, of greed, of lust, and learn to be what? Content. Because I see a lot of Israelite, whatever is trending, they want to get whatever is trending. I trend myself right over there to Goodwill. Verse 10, yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall thy poverty come as one that what? Travaileth, that traveleth. And when somebody traveling, they trying to get somewhere quickly, and they're going to arrive to that destination. That's how he's telling you, you keep playing around with it, and that's how fast poverty is going to come on you. And thy want as what? An armed man. So he's saying, keep on sleeping, not working, just sitting around, just twiddling your thumbs, not saving or investing or preparing. He said, poverty gonna come on you. All of a sudden, it's gonna hit you like an armed robber. Stickers, you know how that armed robber come? And he take everything that you got and you left desolate. You don't have anything because you refuse to save. You refuse to take it seriously. Family, do y'all see these videos out now where people saying they can't afford to pay their rent, they can't make their car payments, they're living out on the streets, how just food, everything, because you know why? This him. They didn't have this. You have to make the choice on, do you want to go on vacation on a cruise, or do you want to stay on shore and bank your money? You have to make those decisions. Is those $60 jeans worth it that you ain't gonna wear but one time and ain't nobody gonna look at them anyway and don't even know what the label is? Or is you gonna bank that 60 for that rainy day? Those are decisions you have to make. That's where that contentment comes in. That's right, A-line, being wise. Accepting this wisdom right here in Proverbs that was left for us, that still works to this day if you apply it to your life. Verse 12 says, a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a forward mouth. A naughty person is somebody that's worthless or just unprofitable and wicked. They have no benefit to you. But you know what? What makes them forward and wicked is because they ignored this wisdom and instruction. And now they got to come to you with some type of talk game, which I really hate. I hate people thinking that they can come to me and gank me with that mouth. Baby, I see you a mile away. I smelled you before you even start cooking. Verse 13 says, he winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, and he teacheth with his fingers. You know, this person like this reminds me like of a crooked car salesman. They wink at you when you come on the car lot. And you know what they do? They just be doing all that talking. And what they do, you tell them what you want, but they're going to, oh, no, let me show you this. And they walk you to the highest car out there that they got on the car lot. Use them hands and them words. And you know how it is with them words, family. They say, and see, look, you'll be paying only for 60 months. No, you mean 5 years. But they flip it up to try to fool you with the 72 months and the 60 months, because that doesn't sound as long as somebody telling you 5 years and 6 years. No. Mm-mm. And guess what? The preachers ain't no different, Sister Joan. They deal craftily with the people too. Why? Because he don't want to work. He want to sit down and live off of you when he need to be as wise as the ants. And all they want to do is sit around and so they can use you so they can get a summer house and a winter house, taking these lavish vacations, driving fancy cars. And that's why, family, you have to be wisdom. You have to get understanding from right here. Right, Sister Hard, they want to get that money out you. Yeah, take them right there where they say, oh, well, yeah, Pastor, you know, Paul, he worked with his own hands. He was a tent maker. Like, you better go get you a tool belt. Verse 14, it said, forwardness is in his heart, perverseness. He deviseth mischief continually, in what he soweth discord. And you see that winking with the eyes and teaching with the speaking with his feet and his fingers. That's what they do on the outside. But here in verse 14, the Lord is showing you this is his mind. This is what is on the inside. Disobedience, devising mischief or evil continually, sowing that discord and stirring up conflict, just messy. That's why I tell you, family, I'm not impressed with suits, high heel shoes, and a fancy dress. Not even head wraps or fringes. I look at the behavior. I listen to what is coming out that mouth. Verse 15. Therefore shall his calamities come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. And so as a result of you being naughty, worthless, unprofitable, having that forward mouth, you know what? He said, you're going to get hit with calamity, that distress, tragedy. You're going to be broken without remedy. There is no help for you, buddy. Because you know why? It is reaping time. You're going to reap that you done put out there. And it said, suddenly. Now, we're going to go to verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. 7 are an abomination unto him. And this lets me know if the Lord hated and it's an abomination, you know what that tells us, family? That we should hate it. You know why we should hate it? Because we're trying to become gods. And we want to acquire the same mind that he has. So if God hated, then darn it, Sister Keziah hated. Verse 17, a what? Proud look. So that proud look is you arrogant. You look down on the other Israelites. Let's go to Psalms 119 and 121. It says, I have done judgment and justice. Lead me not to mine oppressors. Be surety for thy servant for good. Now, if you're going to have some surety, you know the best surety to have is God. Let him be surety for you because he will never fail. He come through 100% of the time. And let not the proud, what? Oppress you. And you see this proud, that arrogant, that's what they do. They are proud oppressors. They take pleasure in what they do to you, how they hurt you, how they make you feel, how they make you work. And do you think I'm not going to take this advice and be as wise as this ant? Or you think I'm going to sit around and be a sluggard and lazy about my business? Oh, no, ma'am. Because, see, this here proud. They are oppressors. And when they get you with that F-150 truck payment, with that Hemi on it, yeah, they got you paying what, $1,200 a month, $600 for this car. See, they got you now. And that's why you have to keep your money in your own pocket. So guess what? When the oppressor get oppressing too much, hey, I'm not putting up with this. You can walk. You can leave the oppressor there and let them do what they got to do for themselves. But when you got all this debt, guess what? You tied to that job or to that what you don't like being under. So you know what the best thing to do is? Humble yourself before the Lord. And let's go take a look at an oppressor and see if I'm lying. Let's go to Exodus chapter 10. And verse 3. It says, and Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh. Now, y'all, was Pharaoh just a great leader to Israel, or was he an oppressor? I want to know. And it says, and Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh. That's right, he was an oppressor, a lion. And said unto him, thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to what? Humble thyself, you arrogant, prideful oppressor. Let my people go that they may what? Serve me. And this is what the enemy does. This is what these oppressors do. This is what these arrogant people do. They want to keep you indebted to those car payments, mortgage payments, and all of that. You know why? Because you got to serve me now. But you know, you can serve God so much better when you don't have all those bills on your mind. You serve him a whole lot better. But our people love Egypt. They just love Pharaoh, I guess. And it also says what else? A what? Lying tongue. And we know that the Lord hates a lying tongue. What happened to Ananias and Sapphira when they lied? Drop dead right there. You know what Jesus told us, family? Let your words be yea, yea, or nay, nay. Simple as that. If you didn't want to get a land, you should have just said, no, I don't want to. If you wanted to keep part of it back, you should have said, look, I'm going to give this amount, but the rest I'm going to just keep for me and my wife. And that would have got that. But you devised some plan. And it also says what? Hands that shed innocent blood. Was not Jesus innocent, family? And what happened to him? They shed his blood. They shed the blood of the prophets. And some even the blood of their own children or their fellow man. Look at King Manasseh. You can read about him in the 2 Kings. And it also says in verse 18, a heart that devises wicked imaginations. That's somebody that's always plotting to hurt somebody. And let's go to Genesis 6. Let's just go there. Genesis 6 and verse 5. And it said, and God saw. And see, that's who we need to worry about, who's seeing it. Because a lot of times we doing things or thinking things without realizing, hey, a person might not see you do it, but God saw. That wickedness of man was very great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And then you know the Lord don't like this, but what did he do with that? He destroyed it. He sure did. Overthrow water. But this time he said it's going to be by fire. And also here it says feet that be swift in running to mischief. And let's see here. So you are eager to what? To do some evil. I mean, boy, when you run to something, that means you're really trying to get there. That means you enthusiastic about hurting somebody. Just run to mischief. Verse 19. A false witness that speaketh lies. Let's go see if they done this before. We're going to look at Matthew's 26. In verse 59. And it says, now the chief priests and the elders and all the council, hold on, not preacher man. He's doing something, family, that is an abomination. Something that the Lord hates is what? A false witness. They sought false witness against Jesus to do what? Put him to death. And the Lord said, I hate it. Now just think about this, what they did to Christ. And it also says, and he that soweth discord among brethren. They like to create conflict or division among the brethren. The Lord doesn't like that. And all these things here that he's naming, you wouldn't do that if you love. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 11. It says, ye also helping together by prayer for us. That ain't the one I wanted. No, let me see. That's 2 Corinthians. Let me go back. 1 Corinthians. Sorry about that, family. 1 Corinthians 1 and 11 says, for it have been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are what? Contentions among you. Somebody up in there sowing discord among the brethren. Got to get rid of that type of mindset. Because why? We trying to become gods. And the Lord leaving all this in. This in Bible, y'all, is an open book test. You cannot lose if you will not lose if you follow God. You will not fail if you follow God and take on this mindset. Now, he didn't say you ain't going to be tested on it. That it's going to be a cakewalk, because he going to prove everything. Because he ain't going to have no more Satans up there. Verse 20. It says, my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother, which is what? Love. Bind them continually upon thine heart and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. And when thou sleepest, it shall what? Keep thee. And when thou wakest, it shall what? Talk with thee. So he's telling you to tie them. Tie what? Loving your God and loving your neighbor. You know why he said this? Because it says it's going to keep you when you're sleeping, when you wake up. It'll lead you, because this is what it does. That word have I what hid in my heart, that I might not what sin against thee. And this is what's going to keep you, family. It's going to keep you. You know, you can go to sleep when you ain't wronged nobody. You ain't sitting up saying, oh, I wonder if I should apologize. I wonder if I shouldn't have said that or done that. No, that love keeps me when I'm asleep. I can rest in peace. Whenever I go, it leads me. I don't have fear, because I know I'm walking right. I'm walking in love. Verse 23. It says, for the commandment is what? A lamp. And the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the what? Way of life. So, family, it is telling us that God's word is what? A light, a lamp. It is a reprover. It shows us how we should walk. It keeps you on what? That straight and narrow path. And it exposes what? Darkness. And it corrects you. But we don't like correction. But we have to be corrected if we want to get this thing right. Verse 24. It says to what? To keep thee from what? The evil woman. There go that woman again, family. From the flattery of the tongue of a what? Strange woman. So it keeps me from that woman and the flattery of her mouth. Because why? It tells you that she is a manipulator. This is what these nations are to Israel. They are manipulators. Their mouth is what? Smoother than oil. And he just told you that she is what? Evil. But just like Samson, you just can't stay away from that evil woman. Tell me what makes you strong. What would weaken you, Samson? The Philistines are coming. That means she don't love you. She trying to find out your weakness. But Israel just loves these other nations. But it ain't to them eyes put out like Samson that we learned something. Verse 25, it says, lust not after her beauty in thy heart, in your mind, where people can't see it. He said, don't lust after her in your mind, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. It's something about that beauty, y'all. Let's go to that Ezekiel 23, because I told you we're going to look at this spiritually. Ezekiel 23. You just love those other nations. You just think they're just the most beautiful people ever. Ezekiel 23 and verse 11. And when her sister Aholibah saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she. So she had a love for somebody, and it wasn't her own nation. And in her whoredoms, more than her sister in her whoredoms, she doted upon the Syrians, her neighbors. Oh, she just so sexy. Her beauty. Captains and rulers clothed gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one away, and that she increased her whoredoms, for when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion, girdled with girdles upon their loins, exceeding in dyed attire upon their heads, all of them princes to look to, after the manner of the Babylonians of Chaldea, the land of their nativity. And as soon as she saw them with her eyes, didn't he tell you, lust not after her beauty? But as soon as you saw them with her eyes, you doted upon them and sent messages unto them into Chaldea. And the Babylonians came to her into the bed of love, and they defiled her with their whoredom. And she was polluted with them, and her mind was alienated from them. See that? Lord telling you, stop lusting after these other nations. Stop being impressed with them gated communities and these skyscraper buildings, these cruise ships, these corporate jobs. He told you that they are evil. They are strange. Verse 26. It says, for by the means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. He telling you, you're going to be stripped of everything because of a whorish woman. This whore in Babylon, you read of Revelation, she ain't trying to give you nothing. She want to strip you. Just like they strip our NFL and NBA players, our boxers. They ain't marrying you because they love you and want to be with you. They want to take you for everything that they got, that you got. Now we're going to go to Ezekiel 23 and verse 22. And it says, therefore, O Aholibah, and some people can put their own name there. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee. See, Israel don't like this. But Lord let them taste the biscuit. He let them taste that honey sauce from their lovers. And they don't like the backlash. They don't like the words that they're getting. from whom thy mind is alienated, and I will bring them against thee on every side. And unfortunately, Israel still ain't learned nothing. You still think another nation is better than you. But no, we are above all people. Verse 23. The Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, Pekod and Shoa and Koa and all the Assyrians with them, all of them desirable young men, captains and rulers, great lords, and renowned, all of them riding upon horses. And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about. And I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to what? Their judgments. Verse 29, and they shall deal with thee hatefully. These people show Israel every day, in every nation that they're scattered, that they hate them. But you still say, I just got to get me one, because see, Israel women just too loud. In Israel, men just too dusty. But the Lord said, they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor. All that you work for, you're going to be stripped of it, and shall leave thee what? Naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. But you say they love me. But he said, for by the means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. And if this ain't Israel, I tell you, we better take this thing seriously, family. Read verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? No. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? You know what he's telling you? You're going to be burned, so don't even attempt this. Don't go playing with the other nations. But go ahead, O.J. Simpson and Jonathan Majors and Bill Cosby and your Tiger Woods, your Cuba Goodens and your what's that? Serena Williams and your Venus Williams, even Janet Jackson. Got her heathen, baby. And guess who gonna get that money? That baby and his daddy. That's going to her people. Just like Michael Jackson. And I know, oh, yeah, call him the king of pop. But up here, he was not king. Who takes two other children of another nation and tell them that you're mine? And guess where his fortune goes? To them. How sad is that? Wake up, Israel. Verse 29. So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Let's go to Numbers 25. For some reason, we just don't believe God. But you know what? I believe him. I believe him. Numbers 25, verse 1. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredoms with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. And the people did eat and bowed down to what? Their gods. Oh, yeah, Angela Carroll, Shannon Sharpton, could add him to the list. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was what? Kindled against Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one of his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. You better be careful who you join with, Israel, because the Lord is not playing. He told you, you go in to that other nation and you touch her and be defiled because you like that Baal Peor and you like what she do. He said you ain't gonna be innocent. Verse 30. Men, do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Because at this point, he basically is stealing to survive, to live. But it still applies, verse 31, which says, but if he be found, he shall what? Restore sevenfold. And he shall give all the substance or the value what of his house. So stealing, he's telling you it is still a sin. I don't care if you is doing it because you hungry. You still got to repay. Why? Because you have a God who provides. And you could have asked him, or you could have went and asked a fellow Israelite. Say, hey man, I'm hungry. Do you have some money so I can go get me something to eat? And that's why it's so important, family, that love is there, that we help one another, because by us helping one another, it keeps us from doing things like stealing and getting ourselves in trouble, not only with God, but with this wicked law here, and cause your family to have to go to jail for a piece of bread, for a loaf of bread. They doing 5 years. When you see them out on the streets and they hungry, give them a helping hand. Let them eat for that day. Verse 32. But whosoever committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. And he that doeth it, what? Destroyeth his own soul. Let's go see what the Lord talking. Let's go to Jeremiah 3. And verse 8. And it says, and I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and had given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So if you see something happening to one Israelite, why would you go do it? Why would you do the same thing that's causing a problem for one of your fellow Israelites? But you just got to jump on the bandwagon. They got them a heathen woman. Now you got to go get one. She got her a heathen man. Now you got to go get one. But when Jonathan Majors was running, you don't think yours gonna have you running? When OJ was in jail, you don't think yours gonna have you in jail? Okay. Verse 9. And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. Let's go down to verse 21. Because he said you destroy your own soul. It says, surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, so have you dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. A voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplications of the children of Israel, for they have what? Perverted their way, and they have forgotten the Lord their God. And when you forget the Lord your God, you destroy your own soul. You are in trouble. Because he not only destroys the body, he destroys the soul as well. Verse 33. It says, a wound and dishonor shall he get and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Let's go back to Jeremiah 3 in verse 24. It says, for the shame have devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us. And what did God say he was not the author of, family? He says he was not the author of confusion. But you went and got into confusion. You went and got in this mess. You went and got and joined yourself to these other nations. And now what you shame, you have that reproach, dishonor. And he said it will not be wiped away. And even unto this day, still the same thing. We are ashamed. And stuff Israel do, it makes you ashamed of them. For we have sinned against the Lord our God. Now, weren't we just reading about Israel and then with the other nations? But the Lord just said, you have sinned against your God with them. We and our fathers from our youth even unto this day, and I do say even unto this day, and have not what obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. But that's okay. But just like then, he gonna purge out the rebels. So you continue on your foolishness. Hey, the Lord said, okay, a wound. And you know, when you got a wound, boy, that's something that's incurable. That's that wound that Israel carries around on them. Everywhere we go, nobody wants to be around us with a proverb, a byword. We the poster child of everything negative. We need that balm of Gilead. Okay, verse 34, it says, for jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Okay, and you know this is talking about the Lord. Let's go to Psalm 78 and verse 55. It says, he cast out the heathen also before them, and divided them an inheritance by line, and made the tribes of Israel to dwell in their tents. So the Lord said, oh boy, I was really taking care of you. Yet they tempted and provoked the Most High and kept not his testimonies, but turned back and did what? Dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow. Israel still does this to this day. Cannot be faithful to your God. Cannot be faithful to your own women. Cannot be faithful to your own men. You just got to turn back to Egypt. Talking about you was eating leeks and watermelons. No, I remember you with straw and brick. You was out there whining and crying. But every time Yeshurun waxed fat, she kicks, just like she's doing now. I got a house. I got a car. I got a degree. I just got a job. And there you go with the other nations. And it says, for they provoked him to anger with their what? High places, and moved him to what? Jealousy. You move your God to jealousy is not a good thing, because remember, your God is a man of war. with their what? Graven images. And when God heard this, he was wroth. He was angry and greatly abhorred Israel, his own people. And I feel this type of way when I see our people with other nations of people. Because it's not natural. Even the animals do better than that. You don't see the dolphin in there saying, ooh, man, that killer whale looking kind of good over there. No, the dolphins mate with dolphins. And the Shamu looking whale, it still mates with Shamu looking whale. It don't go with the humpback. They keep the natural order of things. You don't see a cat mixed with a dog. No, it's just a cat family or a dog family. No, I'm going to go on over there, girl, and get with this cat. You don't hear the dog saying that. Because I want my puppies to have good hair. Because you know how they sit there and clean themselves. That's how I want my puppies to do. Whew. All right. Let's go back to Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 35. It says, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content. Though thou givest many gifts, the Lord said, ain't nothing you can pay. You can pay me for this here, this betrayal, this deceit. What man do you know that's going to let you live in his house, eat his food, drive his car, and you done committed adultery on him with somebody else? You know what the Lord going to say? No, you go on with that sorry rascal and let him take care of you, because I'm not going to do it. And look at the treatment, because you had the greener grass syndrome. You thought the other nations sugar was more sweeter than yours. And guess what? The Lord sent us into captivity. And here we are amongst those same nations that we dote over. You still marching, you still crying, you still begging and pleading to participate, to be treated right. And you think I'm going to leave God for that? Oh, no, ma'am. As that Bullwinkle said, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. That's how that go. I'm going to stay with God. And you better stay with him too, family. And that is all that I have for Proverbs chapter 6. Lord willing, we will pick up with Proverbs chapter 7. Peace to you all in Jesus' precious name.